Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Chris here. I just wanted to give you guys an article that I ran across, and I apologize if I'm coughing during this video. I haven't been feeling too well, so I just wanted to get a few different videos out to you today in between my clients and kind of show you what I was reading. So what we're seeing here, this is by Hacked, and it says more chance to go up for Litecoin. So it says Litecoin short-term outlook is quite positive, while in the longer term it's somewhat mixed, which I don't agree with that, guys. Longer term, I'm more bullish longer term than I am shorter term. But it says shortly, the digital coin may face a very strong resistance at 141, being currently priced at $140. Chief analyst at Robo4X says Litecoin already tried to test this level earlier this week, but did not succeed. And as of right now, guys, I do believe we're at about $142 when I just looked about 10 minutes ago. And then it says, in the midterm, Litecoin is trying to break out of the current range, and in this case, it finally manages to break out of $141 and stay above it. It may have a chance of going up to $168. Before reaching this target, however, another downtrend may be formed, with Litecoin plunging to the support of $114 again. If the bears succeed in breaking out this level 2, another sell-off target will be around $87. Current outlook, however, is positive, with the key support being at $114 and the key resistance being at $141 and $168. The MACD on D1 is in its negatives but is going up, issuing a buy signal, while the stochastic is in the positive area and confirms its buy signal already issued some time ago. Fundamentally, Litecoin has got much support this week. The market started buying out the coin once the news on the token being listed on Corbit appeared. And that's the article that I was showing you guys yesterday, how big of a deal that was, that South Korean exchange, Corbit. It's one of the oldest ones there, one of the biggest ones. As the recent report says, the crypto started being traded on Corbit yesterday, while withdrawal should be available starting today, April 19th. This is important for Litecoin. First, Corbit is one of the oldest and most reliable exchanges in Korea. Second, we have already started a few times. If the crypto becomes widespread across multiple exchanges, its liquidity gets boosted, while the accessibility simplifies the transactions process. Corbit decided to hold a contest with up to 6 LTC/KRW traders getting prizes in Litecoin. The winner gets LTC 50. The runner-up will walk away with 25 LTC. Meanwhile, Litecoin being available on Corbit also helped the crypto to rise on Bitfinex. Currently, Litecoin is one of the most volatile currencies, mostly because it's always being in the news, which does good for its promotion. As such, it was announced a few days ago that LTC would be used as a payment method, and 10x, which I talked to you guys about, 10x Pay, I want you to look into that company. It's one that I really like myself. Already started developing a prepaid card for that purchase. And what you can kind of see from this chart here, which I'm going to pop up another chart for us, but this chart, we are close to breaking out of this overall downtrend that we've been in. And what I want to show you here, let's pop this up now. I have this on the 1 hour, guys. I apologize. We're going to go to the day. Let's clear some stuff off here. Okay, so you can kind of see some of the things I was looking at. So right here, if you can tell, when we take the very top of this point and we run it all the way down, we are at the point now of this trend line. And this is going off the wicks. If we go off the closes, we've already broken through that, if this makes sense. So let me draw it here off the closes for you guys. Right here, then we'll pull through just like that, and you can tell we're just barely out above that. It's really close, actually. Yep. So we broke out from that. And a lot of times, guys, what you'll see is when we break overall downtrends, just like we had on this one, let's do this. Let's take it from right here. So if we go off the closes here, just like that, we actually had that breakout. So you can see how we were having these lower highs and lower lows, and then we actually broke out of that trend line. Do you see how the lower lows didn't continue, or we would have had another one down in here most likely? So we moved sideways, and then once we broke that trend line, we had a little bit of a run here. So those are kind of things I was looking at, and I also want to check the MACD for us, see where we're at on the 1 day. I like to look at the 4-hour charts and the 1 day chart, and I also really like to pay attention to the weekly as well. And you can see we've had this positive cross on the MACD, and the histogram has also been in the positive. And what happened, guys, when it looked like this was about to cross right in here, do you see we had that cross and then it ran up, and what happened? We had that little run up. So that's why the MACD is really important, guys. I want you to pay attention to it. You can kind of tell when it flattens out, we're going to move sideways, or you can tell when this, like here, if this starts to hook back down, most likely you're going to have a little bit of sell pressure going on. So I really want you to pay attention and study the MACD and also the histogram. And then let's check the RSI. Okay, in the RSI, we are at around 55, I do believe. So that's good. Remember I said we want to stay above this 40 right here. Because if we were underneath the 40 and 40 was acting as a resistance for us, we would definitely be in a bear market. But what you can see right here, we've gotten up above it. And I'm going to throw a trend line on this as well. So right there. As you guys can kind of see, these higher highs right here. You also have these higher lows going on. So that's a good thing right there. So that's awesome. Then let's check the weekly. See what that's looking like. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit more in depth here today. Go through a few different things with you. Sorry about that. Okay, let's get that off there. All right, so this is our weekly chart. As you guys can see, this is our overall. We'll go from right here, our overall trend line. Just like that, so you can still see we're in an upward trend, right? And let's pull this off the top. We'll go off the wicks here. So as you guys can see on the weekly, we're still kind of in this symmetrical triangle, if that makes sense. And this was really nice. We had this inverted hammer here, and then we've had a little bit of follow through. But what I'd really like to do is get through this overall downtrend line. Yet again, how important that is, guys, that we get out of that. A lot of times, sometimes you'll break out, and then you'll come back, test it again. But why that article said that $85, most likely they were probably looking at this right in here. That makes sense. Our overall downtrend, because we would come down and test that if that were the case. Now, when it comes to overhead resistance, serious on the weekly, what I'm looking at, what I would love to see us break out above here in the next month or so. Let's go right up to there. So that's around that 252. And what happened was we had this big sell-off where we had the tweezer bottoms here, and then we had that nice run-up. And once we had that, you can kind of see how we had this candle right here, which represented the fact that we most likely were going to start going back down because we had this really strong candle here. This is a belt hold line. And then we went into this spinning top, and then we almost had another spinning top here, and then it was kind of confirmed right there. That's close to a hanging man. Hanging man, you'll usually see him up a little bit higher or whatnot, but you always want to look and see if this body here is twice as long as the wick. But still, overall, this was a bearish candle, which implied that we were going to start going back down. So, as you can see, that's what we really need to break out of. We have more resistances coming through because we can look at like the Fibonacci lines, different things like that. But I really want to get out of that $252 overhead resistance, and I want to test the all-time high here in probably another month or two is what I'm thinking that could really happen if we get some good news. And you see right now we're at $142. Guys, I'm going to do one last thing here. I'm going to throw the fib on the weekly. Let's just see how much we've retraced here. All right, so I'm going to take from this low point here. We're going to run it up to the high. And as you can see on the weekly, right here, look how much we have retraced, guys. We retraced almost to the point of the 786, which is a very deep retracement. Okay, so right there, at about $104, $105 we retraced to from a high of $374. That is a really deep retracement. That's why I said we're still so oversold on the weekly, if that makes sense. So next line here, we need to break up and out through the 618, and that's around $145. Let's get through that and travel in this channel a little bit, and then maybe make another attempt here at that 189, which is the 50% or the 50. So God bless you all. Take care. Let's look for some good volume coming in. We'd love to see a few of these guys, but we don't always get what we want. But God bless each and every one of you. Take care, and I hope to give you another video too later today.